My name's Jesse Ewell, and the purpose of today's training is really just to share things that I have done.
You are tuning in to the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast with your host, Jesse Ewell. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle. Let's go.
From not only a personal experience dating all the way back to 2016 when I first began to learn the organic marketing process to today where we've, helped over 350 health professionals and coaches the last 3.5, 4 years make money from what they actually do on social media. And so as we go through this today, I want to give you a framework. I want to share some of my own personal experience and journey with this. And I also want to talk about ways that you can really improve your content and begin to actually turn it into dollars. So with that being said, let's get into the training. So number one is the best content for you to start with is really about your personal life, your personal journey. And what does that mean? That means that you're going to have to share your story. And when you share your story, you're going to have to share your experiences. You're going to have to share your challenges. You're going to have to share your successes in not only your life, but also specifically in the area that you're working in. So what does that mean? That means that if you're a health and wellness professional, you should be sharing what made you become a health and wellness professional. So sharing your personal experience, sharing the challenges that you've had along the way, but also that sharing the successes in that specific area. Now, if I replaced health and wellness with a coach, and let's say you coached relationships, you're going to share those same things, personal experiences. You're going to share your challenges and you're going to share your successes in that specific coaching niche. So really you could replace that with, relationship coach. You could coach. I know some of the coaches in our program, they coach narcissistic people, narcissistic maybe abusers. They coach other people in their profession, whether it be chiropractors, real estate, other things like that. But we're going to share our personal experience, challenges, and successes in that related field. Now, the reason why we do that is because this really humanizes us. It humanizes our brand, and it allows us to connect with our audience on a much deeper level. And it also gives our audience the inspiration that they actually need, that it's like, hey, this person's actually been through the things that I've done. And so as we do this, it's really about sharing your story. It's really about, you being able to connect to other people on a broader scale. And what that does is make you very relatable. And so number one is your own personal life journey. Now, a couple things that usually come up is most people, they don't want to share their own personal journey. And yet they kind of, downplay it, or maybe they don't think it's been a big enough journey. They don't have anything to share. I'm going to say this: get used to telling stories, get used to talking about yourself, and just get used to talking about your own experience. Like, hey, these are the things that I've been through. I want to share them because I feel like, hey, a lot of people can learn from this. A lot of people can grow from it, just like I did. So, but you have to make sure that you make this engaging for your audience, and it's almost like they get to go along the journey with you. Okay. So here's the other thing I'll say. Anytime that you begin the process of change, the more you can document that and the more you can share it, the more people feel like they're on the same journey with you. And that's, a really powerful piece. Now, that is how you begin to change, and there's also a huge amount of accountability when you begin to share the changes that you're going through, you begin to share the journey you're on. Part two of this is case studies. And this is going to be really important because what you'll find nowadays is a lot of people claim, they can help you do XYZ, but they don't have the actual evidence-based case studies to back that up. So what does that mean? That means that you have to have people that have went through your program, that have went through training with you, and it's showing and demonstrating the growth that they've had since they've been working with you. And typically, let's say this, let's say that, my goal is to help somebody make more money. But here's the key in this is the money is amazing, but imagine if somebody makes more money and they change their marriage. Imagine if somebody makes more money and they change their health around at the same time. There's two things that are happening. Number one, what people came into your program for was exactly what they got out of it, and maybe even more, but also a result of that is other areas of their life began to change. And so when we talk about case studies specifically, we want to talk about, hey, what were the results that you got in our program? And we want to demonstrate the result that was promised up front, but we also want to demonstrate a result that maybe they weren't expecting to get. Like, hey, oftentimes people come into our program and they're like, hey, my business changed, my numbers changed, but what also changed is my marriage, my health, and so many other things that I wasn't expecting. And as a result of living this habit-based lifestyle, all these other areas of my life began to change. So we want to make sure we break down, where somebody was when they first came in. We want to break down where they are today and the results that they got along the way. And this is a great way where there's a lot of different ways we can do this, but typically what we do is we would interview someone, and really just ask them in-depth questions about, hey, what are the things that have changed for you? And we can then turn that into multiple other pieces of content. But if you do not have case studies, if you do not have somebody that's went through your program, then you need to do one of two things. You need to document yourself as a case study, or you need to get some people, 5 to 10 people in your program who have actually taken it, and you could just start with 30 days. Here's what's changed in 30 days. You guys don't understand what people are able to change in 30 days with some coaching, with some accountability, and just some little things that they can work on. Okay. Now, 3 of this is short form video. So reels, things like that. I'm going to talk specifically about Facebook reels because I feel like Facebook is a place that a lot of people left the platform. They went to TikTok, they went to Instagram, and there's nothing wrong with that. But what I will say is Facebook typically is a place where it pays a lot more money, and there's a lot more people paying attention to short form content and some of these other things. But your short form content could be, inspirational, specifically maybe about your own journey, showing kind of like before, after pictures. It could be educational, where it's like, hey, what's the number one, hack when it comes to making more money, or the number one hack when it comes to, changing your health, the number one hack to recovery. Well, whatever it is, whatever your niche is, but educational, inspirational, and also some of the things that you do on a day-to-day basis, kind of an inside look at what you're doing, whether it be a morning routine, evening routine, whatever that is, something that just gets eyes on your content. But short form video is huge. And what's crazy is, like, you don't even have to talk in some of your video. You can just have like a message up, you can have music, and you can have you doing something. So everybody makes this way too complicated, and it really just keeps them from moving forward. Now, another piece of content is going to be anything where we can gather more information, like a quiz, asking a question, maybe talking about assessments or things like that, but something that makes your content interactive and drives engagement. There's too many people. There's too much ability we have to get information we need. So we can ask like, hey, what's your favorite thing when it comes to, working out? And you can go ABC. You can ask a couple different questions, like what's the best diet somebody's been on? What's, um, what's their favorite thing about whatever? And you can get all the information you need, but you need to create content that allows you to ask your audience what they're interested in, what they're passionate about, and other things like that to make it more interactive. And it allows you to get into deeper conversations. The last piece of this is really going to be about consistency. And I know consistency is not a piece of content, but I feel like a lot of people are committed to their feelings and not committed to their content. What does that mean? That means that if I don't feel like doing content, I just don't post anything. And so they're more committed to their feelings on how they feel that day versus being committed to their content and what they actually do. Now, think about it this way. We have over 50 free platforms on social media. I'm not telling you to go spray content on all of them. But what I am saying is, can you show up consistently on one platform and prove that you can be consistent there? Because in today's marketplace, people are buying consistency more than anything else. And so it's really not about any one piece of content. It's really not about, hey, is it this specific type of post that I need to do? It's really more about, hey, are you demonstrating a level of consistency that somebody else builds know, like, and trust with and makes you want to move to the next level? And that's really where that consistency comes into play. And so your content, it comes down to consistency more than anything else. And so typically when someone asks me, hey, what's the best content to put out? I always tell them, look, before I tell you anything, consistency is number one. If you're not consistent, no matter how good your content is or isn't, people just aren't going to trust you and they're not going to want to do the next thing. And so if I was going to break it down, I'm going to definitely break it down. Let me just go through this again. Number one is your personal life journey, making sure that you're showing people that you actually walk your talk. And not only that, but you've shared your challenges, the experiences you've had, and the successes. Number two, making sure we share case studies of people that have went through our program or similar process. And if you don't have any of those, make sure that you share your own case studies, short form video content, making sure you're doing reels, making sure you're doing short videos. And again, it's, educational, it's, ways to connect with your audience. It's things you're doing. It's just super easy. The other one is more interactive content where you're talking about asking people, questions, you're getting assessments, you're reflecting on, kind of common themes, you're quizzing people on ways that you can do things better. And then the fifth thing obviously is consistency. Again, it's not a piece of type of content, but it's a way of demonstrating how we show up. And so if you guys have any questions on this, how we do this inside of our habit-based lifestyle program, Marketing Accelerator, how we turn your content into dollars, just simply comment on the post, money, and we will personally reach out to you. Again, if you need any help with anything, feel free to reach out to us and we'll help you with whatever you need. You can also DM me personally. Let me know what I can help you with in your health and wellness business, your coaching business, whatever other business you may have. Let me know how we can help you. Until next episode, have a great day.
You are tuning in to the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast with your host, Jesse Ewell. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle. Let's go.